All right, so we've got our sugar pot over there. So I like to keep that nice and close so we can keep doing measurements as we go. And here we're going to do two different kinds of lids. This is about 2.5 pounds, so I should be able to get a couple different lids out of this. So again, I'm going to get this centered really quickly. The first lid that I'm going to do is going to be upside down. So I'm going to think about mostly the insert. I'm going to throw the insert for the teapot. Now we already measured that pot's body, so we know the opening is 2.5 inches, and then the ledge is about another inch. So I'll show you how to work that. Alright, so we've got a centered piece of clay. This first part I'm going to raise an edge. So what I'm going to do is open it just like a small cup or bowl. So I'm going to open it and then pull it open just a little bit. Not a lot. And then I'm going to raise this up just a little bit more. So pretending I'm pinching a cylinder and pulling a wall, I'm just going to raise that wall just a little bit. Now what's really important here is that the edges here, the walls, are nice and vertical. So I'm going to push in just a little bit more over here. So that's pretty vertical. A little bit more over here. And I'm leveling that out just a little bit. So let's take a quick look at it and see what we got. Now we could kind of use our measuring tape here and see what we got. So that is it's just about 2.5 inches. So actually that would fit really nicely down in there. So we got kind of lucky with that one. Another way to test this would be to make sure that this fits in. So I'm looking at my calipers. I like to make my calipers just a little bit bigger, so that would be exaggerated. You don't want to do it just up to the edge, or else you might end up making it too small. So I'm making it just a little bit bigger, and then I'm going to test it. I'm just going to bring my calipers over and see if it drops into my piece, and it does. I know you can't see that on camera, but this width right here that I just did with the calipers will fit inside the sugar pot. So we're good there. So this first measurement's right. This thing right here is going to turn over and fit right in to the sugar pot. Now this out here is what we're worried about now. So this ledge needs to be as wide as the ledge over there. So again, that was 3.5 inches. So I could either take my measuring tape, check that out. This is just about 3.5 inches. Now I don't want this to be too wide. If it's too wide, it won't fit down into the pot. So I'm going to do one more measurement here. I think it's a little small right now actually, so I'm going to push down just a little bit more. Just taking my thumb and pushing. That's going to be pretty good. So I'm going to let that sit off to the side. I'm going to go ahead and finish this off. So to finish it off, this is pretty gnarly right now, so I'm going to smooth that out. And what I want to do here is make where the top of my lid will be. So I'm going to push this in a little bit, kind of separate the clay. So that's going to be the spot where I cut this off. When I pushed in, it pushed that up, so I need to make sure that this is nice and level again. Everything's looking good. If this insert gets too tall, you can always cut a little bit off. Just taking a wire tool, doing that there. Pinch that. So we're just about ready here, but before we take it off, you always want to check this and make sure one more time that it's good. So this is about that wide. Again, I'm going just a little bit big with the calipers, and it's pretty good with the sugar pot. It's a little small, so what I'm going to do is just pull it out a little bit. So I'm going to take my left hand, I'm going to pull that just a hair. Even though I just did a very minor adjustment, I'm going to check one more time. Make sure we're looking good. So we're good there. Testing this out. Perfect. So now we're ready to cut this off. I like to use the wooden stick tool to make a nice bevel again. So that's going to be a place where the wire can go. And then for this one, I'm going to do another bevel below that. So I'm going to make 2 cuts, and I'll show you why. So the first cut here is for the lid. So I've cut the lid off. But the second one is going to make it so I don't have to touch the lid. So I've cut it twice, and now I'm going to just take this, and I can really push my fingers in there. It doesn't matter. So you can see where the lid is right now, and then you can see that where my fingers are, and I can take this and put it over there. So one other kind of lid, I don't usually throw it this way, but maybe it's more comfortable to you. So you're going to work upside down, and then you're going to trim what we just did. So to make the insert, you're going to trim it. So I've already got the centered piece of clay, so I'm ready to go there. What I like to do is push down but leave a little bit in the middle. So I'm just taking my thumb to push. That gives you your knob. So on the first lid, you would have to take and make a knob. The second one, you actually throw the knob. And then I can take this, pretend it's a little cup, just give it a little pinch, a little push, something like that, and we've got the knob to our lid. Now what I need to do is make sure that it's wide enough that it will fit within our sugar pot again. This over here. So we want to make sure that this width is the same as that width. So I'm going to test this out. Okay, so it needs to be about this wide. And as you can see, we're nowhere close to that. So to get that, I'm just going to push down a little bit more. So I'm taking my thumb, pushing down, and then I'm pulling my thumb out just a little bit. Smoothing that out. So let's test it again. So now it's just a little bit wide. It's too wide. So I need to bring it in just a hair. Take my sponge, push in just a little bit. Test it one more time. Still a little too wide. I'm going to push in again. Each little motion you do, you have to come back to it. Okay, that should be good. So to get this one off, what I'm going to do is, again, make a little bit of a bevel. I like doing that with the wooden stick tool. So one bevel here, and I'm leaving quite a bit of clay because I have to trim the insert. So I'm leaving this kind of thick, probably about 3/4 inch thick. And then, so I've made one bevel. Let me kind of clean that up. Okay. So I've got that. And then I don't have enough clay here, so I can just end up cutting this off. So I'm going to cut the whole thing. Again, 2 cuts. So the top part will be the lid. So there's the bevel. So I'm going to pull that through nice and level. Good. And then I'm going to pull underneath the whole entire thing. I don't ever have to touch the lid to get it off. I can just touch this bottom part, so the lid is on top, and move it over to my board. So that's 2 different ways to make a lid.